From the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Hello, Iona College, and welcome back to Lights Out Sports. I'm your host, Robert Boncardo, here with my co-hosts, Armand Matteo and Terrence Taylor. Guys, how you guys doing today?
Doing great, Rob.
I'm doing all right. Not feeling very well, but we'll get through it.
We'll make it through. Well, this show hopefully will make you feel better. Starting off today, I know we usually start off with MLB or NFL topics, but over the weekend I saw the article going on about Tristan Thompson still not reaching an agreement with the Cleveland Cavaliers, to come back. He has the option to settle by Thursday and sign a one-year qualifying offer for $6.9 million. Over the weekend, he lowered his demands for a contract extension to 3 years, $53 million. He initially wants 5 years, $94 million as his max. But now we look at this whole situation going on with the Cavaliers. Tristan Thompson, guy last year averaging 8 points a game, 8 rebounds, very big in the postseason, coming in for the clutch. LeBron James looks at him as one of the best players on this roster. Now, do you guys see it as Cleveland needs to offer him this amount of money, or do you think his demands are way too high for a guy with stats like this?
I definitely think that his demands is way too high because you can't compare him to big name power forwards like Anthony Davis and LaMarcus Aldridge. Mm-hmm. I mean, the main reason the Cavaliers had him playing anyway, that he had all those minutes in the finals, was the fact that Kevin Love was injured. Mm-hmm. So now that they have Kevin Love back, it's like Tristan Thompson thinks he's going to get a big role, and his minutes is obviously going to be reduced down. He's coming off the bench again, so I don't see a reason for him to ask for such a huge contract when he's not up. He's not even top 20, actually not even top 30 in points per game for power forwards.
What did you say? A 3-year, $53 million deal?
Initially, he wants on 5 years, 94 as his max, but he lowered that deal to 3 years, 53. That he would go as low as that.
Yeah, it's almost like a max contract player. I mean,
yeah, he asked for a max.
That's like an all-star contract.
It really is.
I don't think he's worth it. I do think that he was a big part of that Cleveland Cavalier run. I'll say that, but I don't think the guy is worthy of paying more than $10 million a year. No.
See, my reason for backing away from a big deal like this is you have so much with this team. You have J.R. Smith, you have Kevin Love, you have LeBron, Kyrie's coming back from his injury, Timothy Mozgov. You have a bunch of guys who the ball runs through, so it's barely going to be in Thompson's hands. Thompson will have his moments at times. The ball's barely going to be handled around to him, and I just don't see reaching out that amount of money. It's not where, as Terrence said, you have other guys like Anthony Davis, where he's going 40 minutes a game, he's putting up 20 points, 10 rebounds. This is a totally different situation because there's other scorers on this team that average double digits and put in more work. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think that the Cleveland Cavaliers will miss Tristan Thompson's presence. I mean, he was the scrapper. He was the guy who was putting in all those effort plays. He was getting offensive putbacks, second chance points. But no, he definitely needs to become more. He needs to settle for a more reasonable contract.
I mean, he was basically there for defensive purposes. He was a scrapper and everything. He always got the offensive rebounds, which is what they needed, especially because Kevin Love is he's on the offensive side. He's not really in the paint as much as Thompson is. Mm-hmm. So they're definitely gonna want him back though. But to ask for a contract like that is really ridiculous though.
I mean, I would give him like a 3-year, $28 million, $32 in that range, $1 million deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you look at a situation like this, guys. Right? Say down the line, Thursday's the deadline where they decide sign the 1-year contract extension for 6.9 or sign a mass extension. Now, say he signs that 1-year contract. Where do we see Tristan Thompson going in the future? Because, I'm starting to look at it. Teams like the LA Lakers are going to have cap space. And, they have Roy Hibbert and Julius Randle. Thompson might be a nice fit over there. But is the guy going to be worth that amount of money when he plays for these other teams?
Rob, I don't think anyone's going to offer him that contract, to be honest with you. He might be a free agent for majority of the season until he starts to become more realistic.
Even with the new TV deal, you think?
I mean, as for stuff like that, though, that's just the type of player he is, though. Is he's asking for almost like an all-star contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what has he done to signify this type of contract?
He's not a Blake Griffin player. He comes off the bench for defensive purposes.
Yeah, what he's asking for is like $18 million a year. 3 years, 53. It's around $18 million a year.
And especially for the Cavaliers, though. But with the return of Anderson Varejao too. Mm-hmm. So.
But we know though in basketball, teams are used to this though, where they throw out money. It doesn't matter. We're gonna see a team throw him that kind of money, no matter what he does. They're gonna throw him that amount. So, I mean, it's going to be a crazy situation. Overall, not even worth it, though, whatsoever. But now, guys, we look at it from this standing point. Say the Cavaliers do lose him. He signs this 1 year. He plays this last year with the Cavaliers. What do the Cavaliers do to fix the presence loss of him?
Like defensive.
The loss of his presence, yes. The defensive presence.
I mean, in all seriousness, do they really need Tristan Thompson? Like, the Cavaliers are always going to be the Cavaliers, especially with the players that they have. So, do they really need to fix anything about it? No, not really.
You still have Kevin Love, though, with his mediocre play. He really didn't show that much last season with the Cavaliers. He didn't show what he was in Minnesota, where he was a guy who used to have 20 points a game, 50 rebounds. Yes, I understand he's playing with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. And now, obviously, there will be a drop in the stats.
I think Terrence made a good point before. He said the return of Anderson Varejao. I think in recent years, the reason why Anderson Varejao has been such a failed experiment is because Cleveland has not been able to manage Varejao's minutes. He's been starting. He's not capable of playing in big spurts. That's why he keeps getting injured. If Anderson Varejao can easily step into that Tristan Thompson role, that guy coming off the bench, like how J.R. Smith's doing for the shooting guard and small forward role, Anderson Varejao can fulfill that power forward centerpiece role as a backup behind Kevin Love and Mozgov. Absolutely.
But he has to stay healthy. That's the thing, because the past
I think he will, because I think it has to do with the minutes.
His minutes are going to go down.
Varejao each year has been on the depth chart for the Cleveland Cavaliers as the starting opening center in preseason. Every year. This year he won't, so I think that you might be able to get at least 55, 65 games out of Varejao.
And now that Mozgov has stepped up, since we saw in the finals and that playoff run, so yeah,
he's finally coming into his own. I mean, he came in with New York, and he was a slow. I mean, New York never really gave him a shot, but now, I mean, after last year, he fits well with Cleveland.
He fits well with the Cavs and the offense and defense.
The loss of Tristan Thompson, I mean, it's not going to be that big. It's not going to be as big of a deal because this Cleveland Cavalier team has players that can fulfill his role.
But you don't think, like, come playoff time, because we look at some of the rosters come playoff time with so many backups on their rosters. We look at Golden State, where, you could have this guy coming off the bench. You could have Andre Iguodala. You had David Lee coming off the bench last season. Don't you think that you need players like this for impact in games like these?
I'm going to just say what I always say. LeBron is on the Cavs. LeBron's always there. He's always going to be with the Cavaliers. As long as LeBron is there, nothing bad's going to happen.
No, but
he's still there.
There's only so much one player could put on his hands.
Yeah, we obviously saw that in the finals. You know how much only one player can handle against, one player versus a whole team. But it all depends how healthy this Cavs team can stay. If Kevin Love doesn't get hurt again, if Kyrie Irving, he stays healthy, he doesn't get hurt, then obviously this Cavs is gonna make a long run for championships in the future. So as long as the team stays healthy, I really don't see how much of an impact Tristan Thompson will have if he's there or not.
Yeah, I really just don't like the deal whatsoever. I think they should just let him go, let him sign the 1 year deal, and let him go as well. I mean, it's gonna impact the team either way, but it's a tough move for Cleveland. Most definitely is in the coming up this week, but.
It is because, LeBron, he enjoys playing with Tristan Thompson. He even said that he really wants Tristan Thompson back. I know because, they just have that connection with each other. I know it's hard
for them. It's the brotherly connection, too.
Yeah, like, it'll be hard to lose a player that you've been playing with. So, like, I know how LeBron, he really wanted J.R. Smith to come back. And, J.R. Smith, he didn't sign with the Cavaliers team right away. Like, it took him a while to actually do that. But now you got some returning players. You got Matthew Dellavedova coming back. Now they
got Mo Williams too.
Yep, they got Mo Williams. Just about to say,
this team has depth everywhere.
Mo Williams is back. They still got James Jones.
This could be the best Cleveland Cavalier team ever on paper.
And Quinn Cook from Duke. They're not for sure if he's actually staying there, but still that's actually a decent pickup though. Having Quinn Cook from Duke to be on that team though.
Maybe Ilgauskas will come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's too much though, but still.
We can only hope. We are 2 days away from that deadline, and hopefully Cleveland makes the right decision for their franchise. Guys, going forward for our next segment, we're going to talk about our NFL Monday night recap as well as our Sunday recap. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
You're listening to WICR.